Good evening, everyone. How is everybody doing?
Good.
Great. You all
Good.
welcome to Cyber Chat. Happy New Year to everyone. This is our very first Cyber Chat this year. So Happy New Year to everyone. Appreciate everybody's time. We will start here shortly. Hopefully everybody had a great holidays, great Christmas and New Year. All right. So tonight we have a very interesting discussion that we are going to be going through. And we are privileged to have some of our own joining us to give us some insightful tips into what they are doing in the industry, and if they were supposed to start their whole entire journey or their whole entire the process that they went through to become cybersecurity professionals, how would they have done it? And that is what we are going to be discussing tonight. You are welcome to Eretmis Cyber Chat. We do this every Friday night. And if you are new to the family, you are most welcome. And we encourage you to join us every Friday night because you are going to learn a lot from just joining Cyber Chat. There's been a couple of folks who've reached out to us to tell us by just joining Cyber Chat and what they've been learning from Cyber Chat, they've been able to use that to land cybersecurity jobs. So I don't take Cyber Chat lightly. There's a lot of good info that you're going to get. So with that, we are going to move into tonight's topic: how to break into cybersecurity in 2025. So if you're already in the industry, you're looking for another role, or you are still on the fence trying to jump into the industry, wherever you are in your journey, this is going to be a session that is really going to help because we are not just going to talk about theory and what we think you should do, but you are going to hear from professionals who started just like you or who are in your position and they were able to move to the next step in their cybersecurity career. So that is what we are going to be discussing tonight. Now, Cyber Chat is brought to you by Eretmis Academy, a cybersecurity institute based out of New York. And Dr. Emmanuel Edu, I'm going to be your host, and I have my co-pilot, Michael, is going to help me through during the discussion piece as well. I've been in the IT space for over 25 years now and counting. I'm a member of the Forbes Technology Council. I'm the CEO of Eretmis Inc., a cybersecurity consulting company based out of New York. We are also PCI KOSA company, and I'm a KOSA myself. And I was also a former United States Army captain, and I've taught in University of Maryland Global Campus and CTC, and I love mentoring and I love sharing the knowledge in the cybersecurity space. So you are all welcome, and we are going to jump in. So Eretmis Academy, we are partners with CompTIA and authorized partners, and what that means is that we have 20% on all vouchers, so 20% discount on all vouchers, and we afford this to all our cyber chat members and then also for our students within the Eretmis Academy space. So if you are looking to sit for any of the CompTIA certifications, kindly reach out. And CompTIA is the only organization that is doing this discount and partnership program. ISACA and ISC Square, probably maybe they are yet to come up with something like that, but they don't have anything like that as of now, right? So with that being said, we are going to move on now. Before I move on, now, if you know, in the cybersecurity space, if you are looking to, if you sit for an exam every 3 years, you have to resit for the exam or you have to get recertified. So, there are two ways to get recertified. You can either sit for the exam again, or you can prove to the institution that gave the certification that you have been continuously learning in the cybersecurity space. So you can do CPU, CEU, based on whichever organization you are dealing with, or CEs, so continuous educational points. You can use that to renew your certification, right? You can use CyberChat. If you attend CyberChat, you can use it to renew. Now, all you have to do is to put Team Live in the chat and take a screenshot of it. And you'll be able, that counts as one continual educational points. So I think based on the certification, you need some of it, you need 20, some you need 40 for over 3 years, so depending on how many they need, if you attend CyberChat enough and you put Team Live, hashtag Team Live in the chat and you take a screenshot of it, you can use that rather than, prepping and go sitting for the exam again. Right now for Eretmis, we have our Eretmis cybersecurity group. Now we have the Eretmis Cyber Chat group. Is a new group that we started, and that is purely just for cyber chat, right? So the link will be posted. We have a whole site also for it, so you can also enroll. So we have your email and then on the link, so you don't miss any cyber chat or anything that has to do with cyber chat. You are not going to miss out. So the link will be posted. So kindly be on the lookout for it. And for YouTube, all cyber chats are transmitted live on YouTube. So you should be able to have access to it. The live stream is ongoing right now. And then also the videos will be posted right after that. So kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you spread the word for any family and friends who are interested in the cybersecurity space, or even if they're in the cybersecurity space already. We can assure you, you are always going to learn something new when you join Cyber Chat. Now for tonight, we will look at cybersecurity news and then cyber news for the week. And then we will look at our topic for tonight. So for cyber news, what do we have in the news? So Internet of Things. Now, some cyber chats ago, we discussed, I think that was around 2021, 2022, some cyber chats ago. That was when there was this conversation about making labels for Internet of Things, right? For us to see their security posture, to see if it has good security posture or not so good. That way, we as consumers, we will be able to determine which products are more secure for us to use, right? So that conversation, when it came up, we talked about it during Cyber Chat. Now there is a different version of it. Now it has now gradually become a thing, right? Although it is not mandatory for manufacturers, but now it's a voluntary certification system that has been made, finalized. So we are going to look at that. I think somebody posted that in the WhatsApp group, which was very good read. I'm not sure of how many people were able to read that in the WhatsApp group, but that was really good info. So we are going to speak more about this. Now, before I move on, for folks who are not very familiar with cybersecurity technologies and cyberspace, when we talk about Internet of Things, what are we referring to? Maybe one or two people can give it a shot. Internet of Things.
Are you referring to any all devices that are essentially connected to the internet in some way?
Yes. Anybody else? So will my computer be considered an Internet of Thing?
No. So those are all devices that can connect to the internet, except for your smartphones and computers.
Great. Great. And why do we call them the Internet of Things? Why that name? How did we come about Internet of Things? Any guesses?
They're essentially things connected to the internet other than like a computer or a smart device.
Okay. Yeah. So like I always say, in the cybersecurity space or in IT in general, they don't try to be fancy. So the name of things are exactly what they are, right? Internet of Things, things that are connected to the internet, right? That's simple, right? Abby, please go ahead. Abby. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So Internet of Things. We're talking about devices that are connected to the internet. Basically, they are usually called cyber physical devices, meaning that devices that interact with the physical environment and in a way is also connected to the internet, like a car, like your light bulb, like access control devices and stuff like that. So those are called internet IoT devices.
Okay. Thank you. All the answers that were given right on the money. I appreciate everybody's input. Now let's move on into the news. So FCC, they've adopted the rules for the IoT labeling, cybersecurity labeling program that has been initiated. Now, if we go down history, right? So May 12, 2021, cybersecurity labeling for customers, Internet of Things devices and software. Now, if you look through here, in May 12 May 2021, there was a presidential executive order that moved NIST, or that directed NIST to come up with. I mean, when NIST is always at the end of cybersecurity presidential orders, right? Because they are the ones who are coming up with all these frameworks and all these cybersecurity stuff for the government. So NIST, they were tasked to come up with a labeling, a scheme of some sort for Internet of Things devices to help consumers to be able to determine which devices are secured and which devices are not secured. Now, why would this even be in the conversation? And then also, it wasn't just for Internet of Things, but also for software development practices, right? So this is because Internet of Things and software that we use, they are, if we take people out of the cybersecurity equation, they are the most problematic. And we can also still attribute that kind of to people because people are the ones who are coming up with these. So Internet of Things, the goal and the idea behind, Internet of Things from the manufacturer perspective or from the vendor perspective is to make it cool, to make it user-friendly, to make it fast, to make it be able to do exactly what they want it to do. They don't really have security in mind when they are designing Internet of Things devices. That makes Internet of Things devices more susceptible to attacks, simple and common attacks, right? So a way for the government or for the industry to, kind of force manufacturers and vendors to look at security more from a critical standpoint, to integrate security more into devices that they are coming up with, is to come up with some sort of labeling scheme, right? So kind of doing naming and shaming. So although they are not mandated now to follow this scheme, gradually when everybody gets on board on the voluntary side, you will gradually get to know. So let's say, for example, if your device is more secure, they give you maybe 5 stars, right? And those will be labels that will be part of the label for whatever device. So if you see 5-star, 2-star, 3-star, as a company, you don't want your device to have 1 star, competing against other devices that have, gone through the certification process and they got 5-star, right? So that will kind of force you to do what it takes to get 5-star. So I think this is purely a strategy from the government's point of view to help and kind of force, vendors and folks who are coming up with Internet of Things devices and also software development, software that they also come up with to kind of look at security well. So this started in 2021. Now FCC has adopted it, and officially, I think on the 7th of this month, 7th January 2025, the White House has adopted it. So this has become a thing that companies now is not mandated. They can all volunteer to subject themselves to this labeling program. But eventually, down the line in the future, when they get more companies on board, it will kind of become, the order of the day. So if you don't follow it, your product is not going to do so much well on the market. And this is good for consumers because now we get to know that, the smartwatch, the smartphone, the smart scale that you are using, is more secure. So it's not very easy for attackers to, hack into your TV and get onto your network, or hack into your smartphone, smart fridge, or smart, anything, smart bulb that you are using to be able to get to break your network, right? So this is a very interesting discussion that I think we might probably have maybe a cyber chat or two on this, but I encourage everyone to dig more into this. This is how you really grow in the cybersecurity space, by continuously, following such cybersecurity discussions and looking at the perspective of why are we coming up with this, and why do we even need to do this for Internet of Things, and digging more into what are some of the security issues when it comes to Internet of Things. Right? So we are only going to look at one topic for cyber news because we have some of our panel members will be running a little bit late, so we want to go through this real quick and give them the floor before we continue. Right. So before we jump in, our AI governance specialist course is starting on the 20th of this month. So if you are looking to, specialize in AI governance, we encourage you to look into this program. And then also our cloud security also starts on the 16th of this month. That is next week. I think next week, Thursday. 16th is when we're starting our cloud security. All these are live sessions that we have twice a week in the evening, 7 p.m., 8:30, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Eastern, right? And then for folks who are totally new, looking to jump into cybersecurity, we encourage our cybersecurity entry-level course for you. Very comprehensive course, 4 months, 2 months of training, 2 months of internship, where you really get to work on real-world security projects and get to do. So now you don't, for this year, Eretmis, we are pushing the agenda of don't just learn cybersecurity, do cybersecurity, right? And when it comes to doing cybersecurity, if you're looking to specialize in any niche in the cybersecurity space, our PCI compliance, payment security compliance space is one area for all security professionals and IT professionals who are looking to specialize in any area of cybersecurity. This is one of arguably the most lucrative areas in cybersecurity. At Eretmis Academy, our highest paying students, they are all from the payment security course. And this course comes with the training and then also the internship. And then our last item that we are looking at, our GRC internship is starting on the 25th. And this is where you actually do GRC projects, right? You are not just you are not learning, but you are doing. If you're tired of all the theoretical stuff you've been learning, different GRC bootcamps you've been to, but you really know you cannot do nothing in the GRC space, right? This is where to come to really get your hands dirty, working on GRC projects. Knowing is one thing, doing is a different thing. You can know all you want and, talk about things that you know and things that you've read. If you've never done it, you've never done it. And that is what employers are looking for. During interviews, you can't talk your way through things that you've not, done, especially if you are talking to somebody who really do that for a living, right? You cannot really BS your way through. And even if they like you and they allow you to BS your way through and you get a job, you can't BS your way around the job. You have to do the job. You can't talk your way out of the job, right? It's like if I went for a driving gig, they gave me the gig. Now, guess what? I have to drive. I can go to the restroom where I want. For half of the day, yes, they'll wait for me. They're still going to give me the key. I have to drive, right? I can't call my friend to show me where the steering wheel is at and where that is at. So if you find yourself in that boat, we encourage you to get onto the Cybersecurity GRC internship. And our WhatsApp group, we have the Cyber Chat WhatsApp group now. And we also have our general group, which I think is almost full. And our YouTube channel, kindly make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube channel. And we are going to jump into our discussion for tonight. So how do you break into cybersecurity in 2025? And for folks who are already in the cybersecurity space, already in IT, how do you scale up in 2025? And we are going to hear from our expert panel that, they all started from where you are if you are a total beginner. And they are now cybersecurity professionals working in different roles, in managerial roles, and other roles. We are going to introduce them here shortly. So the discussion topic for tonight, we will focus on their personal journey, career path, skills and preparation. We'll look at advice for aspiring cybersecurity professionals, and then career growth and long-term success per what they've done. So introduction of our panel members tonight. We have Michael. Michael has been one of our regular panelists. Michael is a GRC specialist and also a GRC manager at Gentiva Medical Health Services. We have Bettina. Bettina is going to go first, ladies first. She's a cybersecurity manager at Munich Airport, New Jersey, right? Not Munich Airport in Germany. I think they are the ones running the Newark Airport. So, that is the name. Probably Bettina can explain more. And then we have Frank. I think we missed Frank's name on there. Frank Osei is a PCI manager for Globe Petroleum. And then we have Michael, one of our instructors. And also Michael wears different hats, and he's going to be the one leading us tonight, walking us through some of the questions as we move along. And then he's also going to give his own expert opinion about how we are going to move forward. Now, all these, awesome panel members that we have, they are all Eretmis old students, right? They came to us, came through, made sure they did everything that they were supposed to do, put in the work that I can tell you and they are at where they are now. Some of them started from no IT background, no cybersecurity background, and they have built themselves in terms of knowledge and skill up to where they are now. And they are all superstars in their work environment, right? So you are going to hear from them. And with that, if Michael is on here, I'm going to hand over to Michael, and we will start our discussion. The ladies first, so we are going to have Bettina go first. Bettina is running a bit late, but we will let her go first. So Michael, if you're on here, you can chime in, and then I'm going to hand over to you.
Yeah, I'm here. Good evening. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes.
Yes. All right. I know Dr. Dua said it all. There's been, I think, 28 minutes over the top of the hour, so I'm not going to waste a lot of time. We'll dive straight into it by a Happy New Year to everyone. We'll start with Bettina, like Dr. Du said. So first off, I think most of the people here know some of you already, but just for the sake of those who are just joining for the very first time, maybe you are trying to break into cybersecurity, you are trying to crack the code into what do I do? How do I get myself involved or surround myself with people who are very good in cybersecurity so I can progress my career? This is what you need right here. This is for you. And maybe you're already into cybersecurity, you're trying to take your knowledge or your expertise to the next level. So you're trying to ask questions, okay, what do I need to do to get to the next level? This is also aimed to help you out. So the goal of this meeting tonight or this cyber chat is to just unravel all these knowledge areas so you can make informed decisions as to what your next cybersecurity career is going to be. So Bettina, let's start with you. Can you do a quick introduction about yourself, how you just came up and decided to pursue cybersecurity, and also the team to know you a little bit?
Okay. Can you all hear me, please?
Yes, Betty.
Okay, all right. As was already mentioned, my name is Bettina Kwate. I am a cybersecurity manager at Munich Airport, New Jersey. So Munich, it's a German company, but we manage the Newark Airport Terminal A, just Terminal A. And so, yeah, I'm also a lawyer and from Ghana originally, and I relocated into this country a few years ago. So, yeah. So the question about me, how I ended up being a cybersecurity manager from a legal background, it's quite interesting. And I've always been fascinated with by the intersection of technology and law, basically. So when I moved into this country and I decided to basically have as part of my career learn more about technology. So I decided to go with cybersecurity. So earlier in my career, I realized that cybersecurity mainly was like becoming an increasingly critical aspect of our digital lives. And then I saw how cyber threats were, evolving and how organizations were struggling to keep the pace and all that. So I decided to pivot into cybersecurity because it really actually, I wanted to be like be on the forefront mainly of this rapid, evolving field. I always say that the world is changing, and when things are changing, you need to be part of it. And if you're getting part of it, you have to do it and do it better. So I decided to enter into cybersecurity because of these new stuff that is happening into this world and how technology and how things are going in and all that. So basically, that was the reason why I decided, not that I'm throwing like my whole legal background away, but it really also helped me with regards to it gave me a strong foundation with regards to like risk analysis, compliance, regulatory framework. Trust me, it gave me like a broader perspective about so many things. It was quite easier for me to understand certain things, and my background as a lawyer really helped out as well. So that was one of the main reasons why I decided to enter into cybersecurity. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you so much, Bettina. Before I pivot to you, I'm sure most of the people here on this chat, they are very curious to know what you currently do, your role. Can you just give a high level, your current role, what you do, so they know what you do, please? Thank you.
Yes, sure. As my role naturally goes, cybersecurity manager. We have a whole team of cybersecurity at Munich Airport. I mean, it's a huge place. It's at airport. So yeah, we have like a SOC team. We have like other people, like a whole IT department where I manage all of them. So I don't just manage the people that are in like cybersecurity alone. I also manage we have like the application analysts, we have like the admins, we have so many, basically everyone on the IT team. And it's quite interesting because when I was interviewing for this role, and I mean, throughout our discussion, it's going to come up. It was the role was to be a cybersecurity manager, but then when I entered into, you would think that I was just going to do something with regards to only cybersecurity, but then I found out that the role involved a lot, and there were so many other things that I came under my role that I had to quickly adjust myself into making sure that I was mainly like managing the whole like basically IT team. Yeah, so it was a challenge that I was happy to take because I had like a great foundation from my studies and everything before I entered into this role at Munich Airport, basically. So I managed the SOC team, and I also manage like all the other IT employees on the premises, basically.
All right. Thank you so much, Bettina. We appreciate it. So I'm going over some quick housekeeping and rules of engagement here. So we are going to cover a lot here tonight. So please, if you do have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. I'll be monitoring the chat and I'll be asking the questions away, right? We'll highly encourage you to just wait to the very end. If you don't answer any question you may have, then you can raise your virtual hand. But try as much as possible to tailor or tee up any questions in the chat so we can answer them away. Thank you so much. And also my panelists, please try and break some of the acronyms down. I'm sure some people have here, they've never, they are not really into cybersecurity. So try and use commonplace words so they can understand you. I know you were talking about operating a SOC, a Security Operations Center. We'll probably talk about that later for those who did not know exactly what it is. All right, we'll pivot to you, Mike. So Mike, you go next, and Frank, you go right after Mike, Michael Yeboah, my own namesake. So the same question for you both is, can you share a bit about your current role in cybersecurity and what inspired you to pursue this career?
Yeah,
Michael?
hello everybody. Yeah, can you
Great.
hear me?
Yep, loud and clear, please. Take it away.
This is Michael, and I'm currently a GRC analyst, and I've been doing this for the past 2.5 years, going to 3 years. And just like most of the people on here, I did join Eretmis, but prior to joining Eretmis, I was actually in the healthcare sector. So I do come from a non-IT background, so I did join without no prior IT background. So like the most I knew about IT is just how to just simply use the basics of a computer and just go online and surface the internet. So I didn't have any fundamentals, any basics, any principles, or any background in IT. So I took a chance and joined Eretmis, and I did join Eretmis somewhere in 2022. I did the entry, so I did actually join the entry level course. I did the entry level course, and right after the entry level course, I joined the internship class, and I was able to secure my first job prior to finishing the internship. So yeah, so as I said, I've been doing this for 2.5 years, and I know most of the people on the call already know my history and my background. So as I said, I came from a non-IT background like most of us on the call, and I was able to basically break in, just going through the template that Dr. Edu has laid down through Eretmis Inc. So this is just a brief introduction.
All right, thank you so much, Mike, for that high-level intro. So Frank, please, if you are ready, you can go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. So the question was about my current role and what inspired me, right?
Yeah, correct.
All right. Hi everyone. My name is Frank Osei. Dr. Edu, I think you owe me a free course. You got my name wrong in the beginning. So
I know,
I was
right?
just waiting for that, Frank. I was waiting for it, and you deserve it. Yeah, he owes you.
At a point, I got really confused. I was like, I know the face to be Frank, but I'm seeing a different name there.
Yeah. So everyone, my name is Frank Osei. I'm the program manager for PCI compliance with Global Partners LP. It's petroleum, gas, and we deal with petroleum and gas company, and we also have a couple of convenience stores and gas stations and restaurants thereabout, and a few franchises all over the US. So a bit about my role. As a program manager for PCI DSS compliance, my role involves ensuring that my organization meets stringent payment card security standards. I oversee compliance initiatives, coordinate cross-functional teams, and provide strategic guidance on mitigating risk associated with payment card data. So a little background. My interest in cybersecurity began with a fascination for technology and also a desire to protect sensitive information from emerging threats. We all know the dynamic, ever-evolving nature of this field and its critical role of safeguarding businesses and individuals inspired me to pursue this career path. And I started with entry-level course with Eretmis, and I moved on to the PCI specialist course and had an internship after that. Then I moved on to the expert course, and now here we are. So that's a little bit about me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, my panelists. We appreciate you all. And I'll be chiming in every now and then. But like I said, we have a lot of questions. Hopefully, we don't break and have two segments for this particular cyber chat. So I'm trying to be a respectful of time as well. So we'll try and bulldoze through these questions. So the second question for the panelists, and we'll go in the same order, starting with you, Bettina, is what steps did you take to break into cybersecurity, and what are some of the resources or the training materials that was most helpful for you in preparing for this role? And I'll take this one more time. What are some of the steps that you took that you used to break into cybersecurity? What are some of the resources or training that really helped you and prepared you for this role?
Okay, thank you very much for this question. This is a very interesting question because anytime you have this question, it brings me back to how my frustration led me to Eretmis Academy. So earlier 2024, I think it was around a time like this. It was in January where before. So I would say like actually December 2023. That was when I really decided to like enter into cybersecurity, and I have a few friends who were already in the space. So I would ask for like advice and things like that, and how I needed people to like help me, like point me to the right direction. Some of them would like teach me the things that they know and they were doing on the job, and it was quite frustrating for me because with the background that I had, I'm somebody that I always really want to like, if I set up my mind to do something, I want to do it and do it better. So I had a few friends who were like telling me, hey, you need to read this, you need to read that. And I would really get frustrated, to be honest with you, because I feel like the people that I was talking to were maybe, I would say, I don't want to use like the word wrong people because they're already in their roles in their companies, but it's actually like the the right word to use because they were not pointing me to the right directions. And a friend of mine finally, so I was just on YouTube watching like videos because I used to do that, and then I chanced on Eretmis Dr. One of Cyber Chat on YouTube. So after watching that, I decided to give Dr. Du a call, I think in February 2024. Yes, and I remember the first time that I had a conversation with him, I introduced myself and I was telling him how I wanted to be like a cybersecurity analyst and the frustration that I've had in the past and all that. And he understood me from where I was coming from. And then he encouraged me to join the entry level course. So I started if you look at the role that I'm doing right now and what I do at work, you will think that I've been into this space for years. But I started actually working in this company for few months ago. I joined Eretmis just last year, February, and I think there was going to be an internship in March. So immediately I joined. I mean, Dr. Du knew how serious I was when I called him. So after I had a conversation with him, I think that very day or the next day, I decided to join the entry level course, and I took from the whole of February till the time that I wanted to join the internship there and then. So I took my whole time, that whole month, and I really studied. And I always say this because coming from a legal background, I mean, being a lawyer, I was also a law professor in a university in Ghana. And this, like, if I'm telling you that I've really studied, I have studied. So I did all that in the whole month of February, and then I decided to join the internship with Eretmis. So that really helped me a lot. And I remember Dr. Du making me the group leader, and I was like, oh my God, I just want to learn and find a way to get into this career. I'm not looking to be like a group leader or anything. I always wanted to be like on the back end. But hey, I think it was one of the best things that Dr. Du did for me when I joined that internship, because as if he knew that my first cybersecurity role was going to be a manager. So not only did I learn to get a great foundation in getting studies and the hands-on training, I also learned being a group leader in that internship. It really helped me a lot on how to manage people. Because in this role that I am in right now, it's not just about the technical aspect or the technical experience that I got from the internship, but also how to manage people basically. So yeah, so the internship and the entry level course that I did really helped me, gave me the 100% foundation that I needed to enter into this role. So yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Bettina. Appreciate your insights. So we will pivot to Michael. Michael, please take it away. Same question for you. What steps did you take to break into cybersecurity? What are some of the resources and training materials that were most helpful to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so just like Bertina, like all my knowledge and whatever helped me actually get to where I am currently is through Eretmis. So as I said, I did come in without no IT background, so I did join Eretmis and went ahead and enrolled in the entry level course. So like everything cybersecurity knowledge, fundamentals, basis for me was from Eretmis, right? Because I really didn't know that much about cybersecurity before joining Eretmis. So once I joined, I just followed the template. So that's the online material course that has been provided by Dr. Edu. Once I enrolled, and then once I finished with the entry level course, that's when I joined the internship class, right, which was for about 2.5 months. And I can't remember when I started the internship class, Dr. Rino was pushing and actually advising me to start applications, right? Because initially I was thinking about waiting to finish the internship, then start applying for jobs. But I quite remember Dr. Edu actually pushing me and telling me, hey, it doesn't cost you anything to just at least put in some applications whilst we are working on the internship. So yeah, so I was actually doing the internship and applied for a job, and I was, luckily enough to be able to secure the job prior to ending the internship. So for me, I would say knowledge wise, everything I actually, acquired prior to breaking onto my first job was through Eretmis. So I didn't like do any classes anywhere or went to any course materials anywhere else. Everything like my journey path was through Eretmis. So like everything I did from A to Z was through Eretmis, and then I was able to land my job. So yeah, so I'll just say Eretmis for me. That's it.
All right, thank you so much, Mike. Everything that I did A to Z through Eretmis, love it. Frank, if you are ready, can you also let us know your thoughts here?
Yes. So I think for most of you probably don't know, but I'm one of Eretmis pioneer students. So we're like Dr. Edu, I think we're like 3 when we started. So basically, a mentor mentioned cybersecurity to me, and for most of us, when we migrate from different countries to the States, there's this push from African parents and relatives that they all tell you to pursue a career in the health field, right? So initially, my thought was to go into pharmacy or nursing, and the mentor discussed my career options and stuff, and he pointed that the cybersecurity way to me, and I'm like, oh, you know what? Let me check this out. So I reached out to Dr. Edu, and he's like, I have a course coming up, and if you would like to enroll, you're more than welcome to join. So that's how I started, and I believe breaking into cybersecurity, then it requires a blend of education and certifications and also hands-on experience, which Eretmis, of course, provides all that through the entry level and the internship. I started by taking Eretmis Academy entry-level course, as I mentioned earlier, and obtaining foundational IT certifications such as CompTIA Security Plus, and also gaining solid understanding of networks and systems. And also participating in internship was also pivotal in building my skills. And I did all this through Eretmis Academy, no other institution. So that's how I got into the field.
All right, thank you so much. So in case you are here, you are wondering, you see we have diverse backgrounds here. Michael, I know he's from a science background as well, I think biology or something like that. Frank, like he was telling you, and we also have our very own Bettina, drafting legal contracts, reviewing legal stuff, doing law of tort, whatever, from an LLM background, and she's here doing cybersecurity. So you can tell it doesn't matter where you come from, you can always break into. We also actually have nurses who had to pivot into cybersecurity roles. Maybe with time, some of them can probably come on again and just inspire some of you all.
Yeah, I forgot to add to it. My background is actually in economics. I pursued economics in college. So
yeah,
yeah,
all right.
that's I wanted to chime that in. All right.
We have an economics major here. All right. Now, let's dive into this next question here, a little bit interesting. So I'm sure before you all joined, you had different perspectives and different thoughts, right? So now that you are actually working in the field, how does the reality of the job compare to what you expected it to do before you joined? How was it when you joined? How was the reality? Was it the same that you expected? Was it a little bit different? And I'll start with you here, Bettina, just we follow the same flow.
The reality, yes. This is very true. It was basically, I remember when our first time when we did our first introduction to the internship that I started in March 2024. Dr. Edu was always telling us how we should take this thing very seriously, because everything that we're doing in the internship is what we're going to see when we're on the job, and that was 100% true. My first week at my job, actually the very first day that I was introduced to the team that I was going to be like the cybersecurity manager, I was standing there looking at the faces, and the very first question one of the people, like the admin guy, told me was, "Hey," and this is, I'm just copying his words, like I'm just mimicking. He was like, "Hey, do you know how to draft policies?" I was like, yeah. And then he was like, thank God. I mean, we were looking for somebody to help us with that. And guess what? The very first thing that I did on the internship was how to draft policies. Everything that we did in the internship was the same way as it's being done on the workplaces. And it will shock you to know that the people that have been in the industry or like in that space for more than 10, 15, so many years, were lacking or are lacking in a lot of knowledge with regards to what to do and what not to do, even with all the years of experience that they had. So for me to even join the team to manage them and to me being telling them some of the things that they have to do with just a year of I would even say a year because I started in February and I started working in August. So for me, having that a few months of training and me teaching people or guiding some of the people on my team what to do, it tells you that it was basically the same for me with regards to the internship that I did. And I really take it seriously. Had I not done that, I would have struggled a lot on this job. So yeah, that is what I would say for now.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael.
Yes. So for me, as I said earlier, like I did come in with no prior knowledge about cybersecurity, right? So like what little I knew about cybersecurity was more or less, from movies where you see people with all those, two or three screens, right? And all those graphics. So that's all I knew about cybersecurity. But then once I joined Eretmis, that's where, my knowledge started, opening up and understanding that there is more to cybersecurity, right? To just the little that we see. So cybersecurity is very broad, right? We have different areas under cybersecurity. So we have the operations area, and then we have the compliance area. And then under the compliance area, we have different areas, right? So with me, with through the training that I got with Eretmis, I was actually like once I got onto the job, my expectations were actually met, right? So like the training that I went through with the entry level course and with the internship, once I got onto the job site, like whatever I'm doing today is basically what I did learn through the internship, right? So like with my current role, I oversee our policy review process, right? So I'm actually in charge of all our cybersecurity policies. So ensuring that our policies are updated, right? Updated in a timely manner, and then making sure the policies are published and made available to all users, right? All users or employees within the company, right? And I also oversee our vulnerability management process. And I'm just giving the high levels, without going too much into details, right? And I also oversee our third-party risk management, and which falls under risk management, right? So risk management, I do risk assessment, I do third-party risk management, and third-party risk management, right, goes both ways. So one is when so basically I'm the one doing the assessment on the third-party company, and the other way around as well is when the other company is doing assessment on us, right? So when the other company is doing the assessment on my company, I'm actually I'm actually the person who has to provide, the evidences to make sure that we are in compliance with that service level agreement with the other company, right? So those are some of the areas I oversee. I also oversee our audit. So we are in compliance with SOX. So I manage our SOX program to ensure that we actually in compliance with the SOX standard. So when I say SOX, is the SOX, right? The Sarbanes-Oxley. So I ensure that we stay in compliance with that as well. I'm also in charge of training awareness training, right? So basically ensuring that, hold on. Yeah, ensuring that basically we update our training materials, on an annual basis, and then make sure that the training material gets approved and then made available to employees as well. And I also manage our DLP programs, right? So data loss prevention program as well. So, these are some of the things that I currently manage on the job site. And most of the things I actually did during the internship. So like my expectations between the internship and what I'm currently doing on the job site, like there's no major differences, right? It's not like I was hit with a shock. I actually expected what I was doing. Like I actually knew through the internship, right, that this is what I'm going to be doing as a compliance officer. So on the job site, my expectations were actually met, and I wasn't, there weren't any surprises for me. So I'll say that that's it for that one.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. Yeah. So as you can hear, Michael just, he wears different hats, very experienced as well. So as you can see, so we have about 102 people, over 100 people on the chat here today, and we are 57 minutes over when we started, like into the cyber chat. Said just doing a time check and also personal count here, so we all know where we are. So Frank, can you please let us know some of the reality when you faced probably your first couple of weeks when you joined the job? Something that you never thought about, but you just walked straight into it and you were a little bit surprised or anything like that.
Okay, where should I begin? You know what? I'll start by saying the reality of working in cybersecurity is both more rewarding and more demanding than I initially expected. While I anticipated a technical focus, right? I've discovered the importance of communication and collaboration. There's been times where you reach out to people via emails, and it could be days, and they pretend as if they don't see it. You have to chase them on Teams and whatnot. When I first started on my second day of orientation, this what happened. I have this story to share. I think I've shared before. On my second day of orientation, I was pulled into a kickoff meeting with a third party company, a KYC company that was conducting PCI assessment for the company. So there I am, no knowledge of the company. I'm about to work in, and I've been pulled in like, hey, you say that you are the PCI expert. So there's this meeting that we're having with this third party. So you needed to sit in and, kind of steer it somehow. And for some reason, I was able to, based on the training I received from Eretmis, I was able to, excel in that meeting for some, strange reason. And that was my second day with the company. And I was even able to point out some flaws in the companies that we're engaging with. The document they sent over was wrong. I was able to point that out and show them that, hey, they need to change it. And eventually they did change it. So that was my shining star right there from the beginning. And all this, I would say, was based on the knowledge I acquired at Eretmis through the internships and the PCI specialist course and the expert course. So the another challenging part of the PCI or the cybersecurity field is the need to stay updated with like constant changes in the in threats and standards, and also, it makes this field intellectually challenging sometimes. For instance, the PCI just came up with I believe 2022 they came up with 4.0, and in no time they changed it back to they changed it again to 4.0.1. Keeping up with those becomes a bit challenging, and but then you do see some tangible impact of safeguarding data, and also is rewarding. So I think it's worth the hassle. So those are the realities of the field to me.
All right, it is worth it. Thank you so much, Frank. You are kind of diving me into my next question here. So people, we have like over 100 people here on this on the chat here tonight trying to learn. Some of them are just very new that have no idea what cybersecurity is. They don't know which area to break into. So my question to you all is, and I'll start with Bettina first, using the same flow. What are some of the important skills or knowledge areas that you would recommend for people who's trying to just land an entry-level job? And with that, I mean, what are some of the basics? Will you recommend them going back to the basics, learning the CIA triad? Are you going to tell them to focus on third-party risk management, cryptography, identity and access management? Like, what are some of the focus areas? Someone just come to you, know nothing about cybersecurity, trying to start a career. What are some of the important skills? Do they learn how to code? Do they learn Excel? Do they have to learn how to read and write? Like, what are some of the helpful tips that you give someone today, no background in cybersecurity and trying to pursue a career in an entry-level role?
Okay, thank you very much. And this is something that it's very, I like this question because it brings me back to the time that I wanted to start to join become a cybersecurity analyst. It was because the people that I earlier on contacted before I joined Eretmis, I noticed that a few or almost all of them, I would ask somebody, "Hey, are you into IT?" The person would say, "Yeah." "What do you do?" They would tell me, "Cyber." And what part of cybersecurity? And then they are like, "Oh, I do vendor risk. I do this, I do that." So I noticed that apart from whatever it is that the person would have told me that they've done, they knew nothing else apart from cybersecurity. And it was, I felt, and I'm somebody that I like to read a lot. So I noticed that from what I was reading and from what I was getting from the other people, I noticed that it's either one, they themselves don't know what they are talking about, and they were just lucky to land a role in some company, or they didn't get the right training, basically. So, and that always like brings me back to how I was very comfortable when I met Dr. Edu and Eretmis, because I wouldn't say, if you really want to start something, the first thing that I would tell anybody is to make sure that you get the right foundation. Because if you want to do well and do better at something that you do, it helps you a lot if you have a great foundation. And by great foundation, I'm talking about not just putting yourself in a corner with regards to, let's say, you just want to do, somebody will say, "Hey, I just want to do vendor risk." What are you going to do apart from that alone? Because the question here now is, especially in the role that I am in now, yes, I was asked to be, I interviewed to be a cybersecurity manager. But then when I entered into the role, not only am I doing awareness training, and I'm talking to you now, the only person, I'm doing an awareness training, and I started a few weeks ago. I'm not even done for the whole airport. So I'm doing for management, I'm doing cyber awareness training for IT department, I'm doing awareness training for the finance department, for BHS, OCC, like baggage claim, all those people, I'm doing awareness, cybersecurity awareness training for them. So imagine if the only thing I had studied or learned to get into this role was to do, let's say, vendor risk. How was I going to do all these things? Apart from that, I'm not just doing awareness training. I do the same vendor risk because we have vendors. So when they come, we are getting like people that are coming into there. I am the brain behind that to let them know that we need to check ABC. Well, with regards to finance, I need to make sure that they are doing the right thing. So it's not just about, you don't need to corner yourself into some aspect of cybersecurity because you don't know what the job is going to require of you. Yes, you may have interviews to be like, let's say, and I'm using just vendor risk as an example. You may have interviewed to be a vendor risk analyst on a role, but mind you, the role, the profession that you're saying that you have expertise on is cybersecurity and not just vendor risk. So when you're in a company, anything can happen. And when it happens, they are looking up to you, the cybersecurity professional, to do the job. So I would tell anybody that really wants to do this is to have like the great foundation. And by great foundation, what really helped me was the entry-level course. The entry-level course gave me everything that I needed for foundation-wise to know what to study, know what I know now to be able to build upon it. And it helps me because ever since I started working in this place, I've only spoken to Dr. Du with regards to what I'm doing, I think just twice. And this is because I'm not saying that because he's not available. He's always available. But the foundation that he gave me, the knowledge that I acquired from the training, the internship, and also from the entry-level course held me enough not to be scared when certain things happened. Now, I know how to do my research based on the foundation that I had. So there are certain times I don't even need to go running to Dr. Edu because he's given me the tools to look for what I need to do my homework anytime I'm faced with any challenges on the road. So yeah, so I would tell anybody to start with an entry level because it's going to give you basically the whole foundation, give you an overview of cybersecurity, and that was a very good help for me. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So, Michael, over to you. What are some of the important skills and also some of the knowledge areas that you recommend to someone who wants to land an entry-level job?
Yeah, so I think Bettina pretty much, have said it all. And I think in addition to what she said, like what I will add is that, we have to be cautious, right? Because there's a lot of people out there, who just set up some courses, maybe they'll teach you IMF, right? And they say that's cybersecurity, right? Or they might teach you third-party risk management or teach you auditing, right? So like even in conversation, I'll sometimes talk to people and maybe they are IT auditors, right? But then they will say they are cybersecurity expert. Cybersecurity is not just IT audit. Cybersecurity is not just third-party risk management, right? Cybersecurity is not just employee training awareness. Cybersecurity is not just vulnerability management. Cybersecurity is not just policy review, right? So just like how what Bertina said, you want to invest in a course that's going to provide you, right, with the basics and the fundamentals in cybersecurity in general, right? So like for us here, like definitely if you understand, if like me personally, I went to Eretmis, so that's my advice that I give most people, right? Because that's the course that actually shaped me, right? Shaped me and provided me with the tools and the skill set that enabled me to to survive and and actually made it to where I am currently as a GRC analyst, right? So that'd be my advice. But for most people, like because I do talk to people and they are like, oh, okay, maybe I don't think arithmetic is the right way. Whichever way you take, just make sure that, like what Bertina said, make sure you enroll in a course that's going to provide you a 360 degree, overall fundamental and knowledge in cybersecurity, right? Don't let somebody out there lie to you, right? And just teach you one aspect or one area of cybersecurity and tell you that, hey, now you are equipped to be a cybersecurity professional, right? So, like, let me just give myself as an example, right? So, prior to joining Eretmis, I was actually about to enroll in a third-party risk management course, right? But they were selling that as a cybersecurity, like basically once you are done with that third-party risk management course, you can call yourself a cybersecurity professional, right? But guess what? Like currently on my job, I do policy review, right? With a course in just third-party risk management, how am I, how would I survive doing policy review? Because policy review is not taught, right, in a third-party risk management course, right? Same thing with auditing. If you just take a course that teaches you IMF, right? IMF or third-party risk management or one aspect of cybersecurity, that means you are missing the rest of the areas in cybersecurity, right? So we just have to be cautious because there are a lot of people out there, right? People even from our communities, they'll just, set up a class, teach you one area of cybersecurity, it might be third-party risk management, it might be auditing, it might be vulnerability management, it might be incident, look, whatever it is, right? And they sell you that as teaching you cybersecurity. But like the best thing you can do for yourself is actually taking the time. Sometimes, we just want to maybe learn one area and then jump into it and then, start making the money. But guess what? Without the fundamentals, the principles, the basis, you are just going to struggle, right? So, like, even though cybersecurity, we have different areas, all those areas piggy bank back to those principles, those bases, and those fundamentals, right? So, let me just give an example, right? So, basis of cybersecurity, some of the cybersecurity terms, you'll find them both in policy review. It comes up in policy review, it comes up in third-party risk management, it comes up in auditing, right? But let's say if you've just taken a course in one area and then you happen to get a job as a GRC analyst, there is no way somebody with just a background in third-party risk management is going to be able to run a GRC program for a company, right? As I said earlier, for my company, I manage our policies, right? We have probably about 60 to 65 policies. So imagine throughout the year being the one in charge of ensuring that those policies are all reviewed, right? I personally don't own those policies as a GRC analyst, right? Most of the policies are owned maybe by some by the engineers, by the architecture team, but it's my role to ensure that those policies are updated, right? But this is not going to be taught during an RMF program. They're not going to teach you this doing an auditing course, right? They're not going to teach you this doing a third-party risk management course. So like basically just to go back to what Bettina said, what you want to do is you want to enroll in a course that's going to give you that overall cybersecurity background, right? And once you acquire that background, it's going to be easier for you to branch into the different areas, right? So for me, example, when I got through with the entry level course and then I did the internship, if I should have gotten a job in third-party risk management, I did third-party risk management in the internship, so I was going to be able to survive, right? Because in the internship, we did a little bit of everything, right? We ran about 10 projects, and all the projects actually hit every specific area of cybersecurity, right? So we did policy review, we did third-party risk management, we did incident response, we did risk register, right? So like these are some of the things that I'm mentioning, right? So, just trying to make it brief, just make sure you get a course that's going to build you up, right? Because mind you, you are coming from a no IT background, right? So you're coming from a no IT background. It's like, you wanting to do surgery without going to medical school, right? First, you go to medical school, you get an overall background in medicine, and then you can branch. If you go to like let me say oncology school, right? You want to specialize in oncology, right? People who work on cancer patients without having that background in medicine, you're just going to struggle. You're not going to make it, right? So if you just go for an audit course and then you get a job in a compliance area, compliance involves a lot, different aspects of cybersecurity, right? And you are going to be in charge of managing all those areas. So just imagine if you just know just one portion, how are you going to survive in the rest of the other portions that's related to GRC, right? So you always want to be mindful and be cautious about what people are selling out there, and just make sure, right? You want to enroll in a course that's going to give you the overall background. It might not be Eretmis, it might be somewhere else, right? But for us on here, definitely we are going to advise you to go to Eretmis because that's what works for most of us, right? But if you think it's not Eretmis, fine. My advice would be just make sure you enroll in something, right, in a course that's going to give you that overall background and skill set in cybersecurity in general. If not, trust me, you're going to get on the job and you'll be praying. You're going to be praying to get fired on the job, right? Because once you get a job, they expect you to know certain things, right? You get on the job, nobody's going to train you on how to do a third-party risk management. They might train you on how their software works, right? But the processes, the principles, the basics, the fundamentals, they expect you to come in knowing those. So nobody's going to train you. So you get a job and then let's say you are not able to move on. What are you going to tell your manager? So just build yourself up, make sure you get the right training. If not, as I just said, you are just going to be you are just going to pray for them, to fire you because you're not going to be able to function and do the job. So I think that's it for that one.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. You literally just channeled me into my next question here. So I'll be monitoring the questions in the chat here. We have so many questions in the chat. And I've summarized all of them. So Frank, this one is for you. Frank is a PCI guru. He's very humble. He doesn't talk a lot about himself. But Frank, I'm going to pivot a little bit and ask you these questions. I summarized all the questions in the chat, right? So for you, Frank, there are people here, right? They are trying to get into cybersecurity. They have no idea what to do, right? What really helped you in terms of, do you have to know how to use Word, Excel, PowerPoint? Did you know how to talk to people? Like, what are some of the things that, because someone is also asked question about how you handle imposter syndrome. Were you scared on your first day that, oh, I'm getting fired the next day? I know Michael just touched on it. What did you do, right? Learning, jumping into this new role, right? What helped you, or what do you think can help them? Like I said, would they need to know PowerPoint, Excel, or how to, whatever that really help you so you feel comfortable at a job?
All right, great. I think Bettina and Michael spoke very well and at length about everything that everyone needs to know. And those were great insights. Thanks a lot for that. And I wouldn't talk much about it because they did speak everything. They took the words out of my mouth. And what I will add to it is I'll probably add a few examples and what I've encountered in helping others secure jobs. And just last week, I helped this lady. She's a nurse, and I think I shared that story with Dr. Edu earlier. And this nurse has secured a VP role at this company. I was helping her through the interview and stuff. And for some reason, she's able to get a job, which I'm proud of her. So I did advise her to, you know what, I think your foundation is a bit shaky. So find a course, it doesn't have to be with Eretmis, but I would suggest you take it with Eretmis when it comes to like the basics, So I suggested her to reach out to Dr. Edu and take the entry-level course, because that will equip you with everything you need, right? I'm a PCI guy, and guess what? Just last week, we did our annual pen test requirement. We conducted our annual pen testing, and we sat in meetings, and there were some acronyms and stuff being thrown around. And guess what? I wasn't new to it because of my foundation from Eretmis, to the point where, again, I was able to point some things out to them. And guess what? They redrew it and redid the whole document again based on my recommendations. And I even shared with Dr. Edu about that too. So imagine if I didn't have that kind of foundation from the entry level, right? I wouldn't be able to point all those out to them. And I think when it comes to like some skills, some basic skills as using Excel, Word, all that, right? I think you can watch YouTube videos and self-study. Do that like on your free time. Don't be on social media too much. Use those free time. You can spend 30 minutes a day to learn a thing or two. And guess what? Those of us in the field, we don't know it all. Every day, I'm continuously learning. I'm watching videos, right? Building on myself, like on top of whatever I've learned already. So my advice is to invest in yourself. Don't think about the money. And imagine spending like, I think the entry level, how much is it now? Less than 10 grand, like 5,000 something, and making upwards close to 200K, right? There are people who went to college for years, have all the student loans, and they're still paying. And you just took a course like this, and you're able to take care of your bills and all that. So I would suggest, get the basics. Don't be, and before you sign up for a course, do your due diligence, dig into the person. Because there are a lot of people, as Dr. Edu always says, selling air out there. I've had students reach out to me, I'm not going to mention names, that they took some course elsewhere and they still owe them like 15K there, about still paying. But guess what? They are back to Dr. Edu, trying to get into some sort of career, and they still owe that money that they're still paying. They didn't get anything out of that course. So I would add to what they said, do the due diligence, dig deep into whatever course you endeavor to take, check the person or whoever is, going to teach you, dig them out. I'm not going to come here and be like, oh, sell arithmetics to you or anything. Just, investigate and do your own research yourself, and you'll see where you can get with that. And that's all I have for that. I believe that's all. All right.
All right, thank you so much, Frank. So there's a lot of questions here. So I'll just add my 2 cents here and just summarize everything here. So for those of you who are wondering, one tool that I know you use every single day is Excel. I'll probably have the panel chime in here a little bit too. So I would highly encourage you just go back to the basics. Cybersecurity people think we don't use Excel. Well, Excel is part of your GRC tool, right? A tool that you use on your daily job is Excel. I cannot stress this enough. So please, if you don't know how to use Excel, it's not the end of the world. Watch YouTube, right? If you are in a family home, whether your spouse, brother, sister, whatever the case may be, if anybody knows that, set that person down, let them teach you, dive into it. You can literally go to YouTube. You can watch videos on how to, pretty much master Excel from scratch to an advanced or intermediate level, right? PowerPoint, you'll be asked to do presentations, right? So I guarantee you will have to learn how to prepare common slide, right? Same thing. So just take your Microsoft Office suite very seriously because you'll be using that daily on the job. Tina, I'm going to pivot to you. Some people are here wondering, okay, I'm getting scared. A lot of people are talking to me about certifications. So doing a time check, we are an hour and 22 minutes into the cyber chat. So I'm going to be a little bit, pivoting to different areas here. So Tina, what are your expectations when it comes to, certifications? Do you need a CISSP to get a cyber job? Do you need a CISA? Do you need CISM? Do you need a SENS certification? Do you need GIAC? Do you need OSCP? People want to know, do you need computer security class to learn your first job? Do you need to focus on certifications to land your first job, Tina?
Okay. Thank you very much for this question. I'm sorry if you hear some noise. I'm on the move. I'm on my way somewhere now. Sorry. So for me, I would say that it's a yes and a no. Yes, and the fact that sometimes if you have, I mean, if you don't have the knowledge and you let somebody, because I know that there are some people that allow people to help them get certifications and all that. The question is, you have all those certifications, can you do the job? Because for my role, even though the only certification I had was Computer Security Plus, and even with that, nobody asked me anything with regards to what's it called, certifications during my interview. The only thing they wanted to know was, can you do the job? And with the questions that they were asking me, and with the answers that I was given, and with what I'm doing on the job now, it did not really matter for me in my role. So I'm speaking personally for myself. However, I know that sometimes you will see that when you're looking for a job, they will post a lot of certifications that you need to have. Don't be scared. I saw all of that and I still made the application and I was hired, even just for just one, what's it called, certification. So I would say that it's a yes and a no, depending on the company that you want to go into. But at the end of the day, even if you get all the certifications and you don't know how to do the job, certifications does not mean that you can do the job. Some people have done this for years and do not have any certifications, and they are still doing way better on companies and on their roles in any company that they find themselves. So for me, I would think that it's always better to actually get yourself in and understand the role and the job that you want to do, you want to enter into before thinking about certification. Certification is a plus, but then now most of the people, trust me, in the companies, they already know that people have the certifications, but the minds and their qualifications do not match up to the certifications they have. So that is what I would say for now.
All right, very brief and succinct. Thank you so much, Tina. So, Michael, I'm gonna give you a different question just based on how the chat is going. I think people will be very interested to know what you do to educate yourself on a daily basis, right? And I'll talk a little bit here, and I'll have you come in here. So you have to be a lifelong learner when it comes to cybersecurity, right? So think about it. How is Eretmis coming up with all these new courses, right? AI governance. Well, the world is changing, right? There are a lot of emerging trends and technologies, right? Frank said something. PCI standard like a couple of years ago, 4.0 came now, 4.0.1. Even just September of last year, they introduced a new scoping and network segmentation guide because of how cloud is become very dominant in cybersecurity. We all talk about AI right now. We all heard Google CEO Sundar just about a couple of days ago said most of their code, 20% 20 to 25% of their code are all written by AI, right? So, Michael, what do you do to keep yourself current? Do you just learn one a day? Are you very curious? Do you try to research a lot of stuff about yourself? Do you try to learn more about cybersecurity? Like, how do you get a lot of knowledge to make you valuable whenever you go to work and also feel very, very confident to do your job?
Yeah, good question. Yeah, so I think one way is what we are doing tonight, right? So I always try as much as I can to join cyber chats, right? Even though, I went to the Eretmis course and then I've been working for getting to 3 years now. Every Friday, I always try to make it to cyber chat, right? Because it's also one way for me to learn, right? That's where I actually get updates on the cyber news. We always go to the cyber news before actually starting the cyber chat. So that's one way for me, right? And to make it brief as well, also I do have my certifications, right? So I have to keep up with the CPEs. So in order to do that, I have to attend webinars, right, to get a credit. So that's one other way as well. And I've also did sign up for some of the cybersecurity governmental agencies. So I do get some bulletins. So, so those are some of the, some of the ways that I keep myself informed and updated, during my career as a cybersecurity analyst.
All right, Mike, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So, Frank, let me come back to you again. Kind of similar to you, how do you keep yourself going? Do you try to learn every day? Do you try to surround yourself with industry professionals just to keep your knowledge going? Do you try to learn all the time by different books? Do you listen to some daily podcasts? What do you do to keep yourself abreast with whatever is going on and staying relevant in the cybersecurity course? And also, would you advise anybody here, when you take the class, just go and sleep, you'll be perfectly fine? What advice do you give people who are trying to break into this industry?
Okay, thank you, Mike. The way cybersecurity is ever evolving and changing all the time, I believe continuous learning is very valuable. So I will advise to sign up for like industry it, like industry standards like NIST, Science, so you could sign up for their emails. You could get daily emails delivered to your mail about, what is trending, what is going on, cyber news and stuff like that. And also participating and attending webinars and conferences like the one we are on right now. Like Michael said, I'm working, right? I'm not gonna lay back and be like, already got a job. So there's no need for me to attend Cyber Chat as I used to before, I got a job. So every Friday, that's why I'm here, just to learn new things and also to keep up with things. So I suggest doing those, attending webinars and conferences, and also, reading articles and having those delivered in your emails daily to keep up with stuff.
All right, thank you so much, Frank. I appreciate that. So, Bettina, we are back to you again. So my next question for you is, some people are here, they are very curious, and this is for those who are currently in the job trying to put their career to the next level. So in terms of career growth and long-term success, right, what are some of the most valuable lessons or insights you've gained during your early training, and that has really helped you to succeed here? And someone just probably got a job yesterday or probably 6 months ago, wants to know some of the advice or path that you can tell them so they can move their career to the next level. So some of the most valuable lessons that or insights that you gained during your initial stages in your career that you can keep them moving forward, that will help them. And this is for Bettina. I don't know if she's still here. Let me check. Can you hear me, Bettina? If not, let me pivot to you. Yeah, let me pivot to you, Michael. I'm sure maybe she said she'll come back. I know she was she had other engagements to take care of. So, Michael, can you tell people some of the most valuable lessons or insights that you gained during your early training or career that has really propelled you forward, that they can also adapt as they progress into their career?
Yes, I think for most part, we all know what is needed if you've actually gone through, a course, like most of us did. If you like, as I said, a solid course, you actually, for the most part, we know. But like one thing that I always, bring up to people is, always be open-minded, right? Like Dr. Du says, you might be hired with a job title, but once you get on the job, you might end up doing something else, right? So they might hire you as an information security analyst, but once you get on the job, all you do is third-party risk management, or all you do is auditing, right? So I'll say, be open-minded. Don't focus too much on the job title itself, right? But focus on actually what you're going to do on a day-to-day basis, right? Because as Dr. Kedu says, sometimes some of these job titles, HR comes up with them and they don't actually know, what they're actually doing. So you might have a job title, but then once you get on the job, what you do on a day-to-day basis doesn't actually match your job title, right? That's why we always say, hey, focus on getting the overall, skill set, overall background, overall basis that is actually gonna propel you or enable you to be able to succeed once you get on the job site, right? So I would say one key thing for me would be just be open-minded and just know that not every job role is going to match what you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. So don't be too focused on job titles, right? Because I talk to people and they are so focused on the job titles, but as I've learned from Dr. Edu, don't be focused on that, but rather be focused on, how you're going to be able to manage the jobs requirements on a day-to-day basis. So key thing, just stay open-minded.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. I'll come back to you again, Frank. So Frank, I know you have a lot of experience here. So for those who are trying to break into cybersecurity, what are some of the maybe trends or their emerging opportunities that they can look into? Anything that you recommend them start looking at, and how do they equip themselves when it comes to something that you think it's trending right now that they can start in learning, or they can start embracing themselves with? And also, if you have any helpful tools, resources, and I'll let you think about that. I'll just make a general comment here. So cybersecurity is changing. I know some people are of different thought that cybersecurity, the name was adopted, I don't know, was it 15, 20 years ago, whatever. Everything's about resiliency right now, right? So how resilient can you be, right? So things are changing. We all know the involvement or the inception of AI. AI is doing everything right now. NIST has come up with a whole AI standard, right? I think it's 100 or something. Privacy is a big thing right now. If you have like a daily cybersecurity podcast, you can hear about breaches all the time. And data privacy is very, very critical that people are going into right now. So cybersecurity, there are so many umbrellas or so many angles within cybersecurity I can go, right? We talk about our GRC, we have the governance side, right? Focusing on, everything starts with laws, right? Policies, we call them our GB controls, right? What governs or what do we need to follow when it comes to standard policies, procedures, right? Risk assessment, what do we need to do to reduce our risk to a minimum level? What are our threshold? When it comes to compliance, what are some of the compliance frameworks that we need to follow? Is it PCI? Is it SOX, SOX? Is it SOC 2? Is it, NIS2, NIS2 over in Europe? Is it GDPR? Is it NYDFS? Like so many compliance programs are so that you can start learning. So for those of you looking into, something to start in cybersecurity, of course, PCI is huge. There's a lot of things into data privacy now. We have AI, which is emerging right now, right? So these are some of the areas that, in my opinion, you can start looking into. So let me pivot and come back to you, Frank. So what are some of the new career or what you see is emerging that people can focus on?
All right, thank you, Mike. So for those starting today, opportunities lie in areas like cloud security, AI-driven threat detection and compliance as well. If you have skills in automation and data analytics and DevSecOps, those are also in high demand. I don't want to get in the weeds of this, but my advice is to stay informed about industry trends, focus on building a broad skill set and always look for ways to grow. Cybersecurity is challenging, but deeply rewarding. It's a deeply rewarding field. And with persistence and the right mindset, I believe anyone can carve out a successful career path in it.
All right. Thank you so much, Frank. Oh, hopefully I didn't cut you off. Were you going to say something? Okay.
No, like I was going to say, as Michael said, if you see job titles and stuff, don't let it scare you. Sometimes just go through the job descriptions, and if you're able to do about 70% of those, and even the remaining 30, you don't know nothing about it. Be confident. Just apply for it. You never know. Most of the stuff they post on there is not. Some of the HR folks just do copy and paste. So build that confidence and go for it. And that's what I'll add to it too.
All right, thank you so much, Frank. I don't know if Bettina is back, but I'll find out here in a minute. So Michael, I have this question for you. Sometimes people really focus on technical stuff, on how to learn identity and access management, third-party risk management, cryptography, like whatever the case may be. Will you recommend them also looking into build their soft skills, trying to just build their personal communication, how to talk in front of people, team building, how to even draft an email, paying attention to details. So what are some of the soft skills that you recommend people, or do they throw them away and just focus on cybersecurity, technical and core skills?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think for all cybersecurity professionals, right, soft skills probably I would say it's maybe 60 to 70% of what we do, right? So generally for jobs, the technical, like technical things, okay, those they expect you to know them, but even if you come in and you are not like, let's say you don't have 100% what they need, you can work and they can help you reach your goals in terms of technical skills. But when it comes to soft skills, like soft skills, nobody's going to teach you soft skills, right? So it's either you have it or you don't have it. And in order to survive, like in this industry, you definitely, have to develop your soft skills. So I think some of the big ones out there would be communication, right? So knowing how to talk to people, right? So like with what I do, I have to basically interact with different teams during the day, right? I have to interact with HR. I have to interact with that architecture team, right? I have to interact with the engineers, right? Might be the cybersecurity engineers or the systems engineers. So you actually, as a governance and risk compliance analyst, you actually get to talk to interact with different areas. So developing that communication skills and developing that ability to adapt as well, right? So you have to be able to adapt to different situations. As I said, earlier I was saying, don't be focused too much on the job titles. So once you get into a job, you might end up having to, do other functions that are security related, but that might not be related to your job title, right? So I would say communication and adaptability. So those would be like two of the biggest soft skills I think, every service security professional should possess, in order to survive and actually make it in the field. But yeah, definitely for what we do, soft skills is probably about 70% of everything we do, right? Technical skills, we can always work, all day long on technical skills. But for soft skills, it's either you have it or you don't have it, right? So it's something that you have to develop on your own and internally, right? So big two ones for me will be adaptability and communication. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael. I couldn't agree more with you. And you hit the nail right on the head. Please take your soft skills very, very seriously. I cannot stress that enough. I've had people reach out to me. They prepared very well for the interview. Guess what? They joined the interview and they did not get even a single technical question. It was all soft skills. So we are coming up on time here. I know we have people overseas. We have a lot of people in Japan and stuff like that. So we are going to wrap it up here for tonight. We thank you so much to our panelists, Michael, Bettina, Frank. But before we wrap it, I'm going to open up the floor for some Q&A in case some people were driving or busy, so couldn't type questions in the chat. So I'm going to open up the floor here. Please raise your virtual hand if you have any questions, and I will call you up so our panelists can do justice to the questions you may ask. All right, I am going through the chat here, trying to see if there's any hands raised. I do not see any. I don't know, Dr. Do you? Do anybody see any hands raised, virtual hands raised here? And I'm just...
I think there's one, Isaac.
Oh, Isaac, yeah. Please go ahead, Isaac.
Yeah, thank you. I kind of joined late, so I just want to ask, when is the next internship class starting?
25th of this month is when the next internship is starting.
Sorry, I didn't get it, Claire.
Oh, 25th of this month.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yep, 25th, so 15 days from now. All right. Anybody else, any other questions? I'm going through the chat here. And like Dr. Du said, please, if you already have a certification, you need continuing education points or CEUs, please just type Team Live in the chat here. Just take a screenshot, file it away, and you can submit that for whenever you need to renew any certification. All right. If there are no other questions, we appreciate you all. Probably have
Daniel. Yeah, Daniel has his hand up.
Daniel. Okay, Daniel, after, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Dr. Lee. So I just wanted to ask just a quick question about the CompTIA. So this continuous education points, does this also apply for the CISA Plus, or can we use this as well, or it
Correct.
doesn't?
Yes, you can use this Cyber Chat right here. Just grab a screenshot and just file it away. I actually did a video on how to even upload this to the CompTIA Sec Plus, your CEUs, right, through the CompTIA website. So you can go to our Eretmis channel, YouTube channel. You see a video of how to upload it. But yes, to your question, you can take a screenshot and you can use this as one of your CEUs.
Okay, no, but this is not for security class, for CISA Plus. Is it possible? I was talking about CISA Plus, not security class.
Oh, do you say CYSA?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You can use this as well.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you. Going through the chat here. So Nina, please go ahead, Nina.
Hello. Okay. I was late because was working attending the webinar tonight, but I wanted to know if there would be a replay available.
Absolutely. Every single cyber chat is recorded. So please be looking forward to Eretmis communication platforms on WhatsApp, email. So you should be receiving a recording when the Zoom recording is made available. And it's always transmitted live on YouTube as well. So you can always go to the Eretmis YouTube channel and you'll find every single cyber chat on there.
Okay. And then based on the website and based on what you stated earlier, also you stated that the next internship will start on 125. And
Correct.
And is that for beginners?
Absolutely. Yeah. Internship. Of course, if you don't have any experience, yeah, you can use that as well. So in Eretmis, I don't know if you're talking about the entry-level class or just the GRC internship. So we always try to be very accommodative and very all-inclusive as well. So if you don't have any background as well, please, I highly encourage you just come in there. We have likewise people joining as well. So you have your time worthwhile. So
Okay, because I do have IT experience. It's just a little outdated from over a decade ago, but not specifically cybersecurity. It was more of technical support. And so.
yep. You are perfectly fine. Go ahead and join a class, and yeah, we will pick you up exactly where you left off.
Okay.
Yes. So someone is asking, Buahin, have a CompTIA class and skills in VM, have been applying for jobs. Yeah, we can probably discuss this offline, but for anybody, if you're applying for jobs, you're not getting any hits, maybe you might have to look at your resume, see how you can design your resume and tailor the resume to fit that specific job description. There are ways of doing that as well. I think Dr. Duo, I think we've covered this in the previous lessons before, but Buahin, please, if you can, if you are not part of the Eretmis WhatsApp chat, I will highly encourage you to join. Post that question in there, or just send an email to Eretmis. All the information has been provided in the chat here. One of our experts will reach out to you and help you in that regard. And this is for anybody else. If you have any follow-on questions or questions you want to do like a one-on-one chat, probably don't have time to discuss everything here, please send an email david@eretmis.com and we'll answer all your questions for you. Is there anything else? I think Shade, please, what's the duration of the cybersecurity element entry class? I think it's 2 months. Keep me honest here, Dr. Du. I think 2 months and 2 months of hands-on or internship as well. Someone wants to know the duration of the cybersecurity entry-level class.
So 2 months and 2 months, like you said, 2 months for the training, 2 months for doing.
Perfect. Yeah. And all these people, all the names that you see on the screen here, they all have LinkedIn, is the same name. So feel free to connect via LinkedIn as well in case you need any professional coaching or advice. Like I said, we have Eretmis WhatsApp chat. Feel free, drop in a message. One of the experts here will probably reach out to you, or we have different platforms of reaching out to us. So please, if you need any specific help, do not hesitate to reach out and we'll help you away. If there are not anything else, I'll probably pivot over to Dr. Duvi as any closing words before we wrap it up for tonight.
All right. I think Steve, I'm not sure if Steve has asked his question. Go ahead, Steve.
Yes, I have some questions. The first one is there like a group for those who have already started working? That's like a separate group that has been created for those who are already in the job, who are already working. And then the second question is there an interview prep group? Because at some point there was some discussion about that they would create like a separate interview prep group. I don't know if that was already done. And then finally, is there a mentorship program in the sense that like a one-to-one mentorship program, so that, because my sense is that that would be very helpful for people who might, let's say, might be lost or feel lost even after the training, so that if you have like a one-to-one mentorship program, a mentor will always like go an extra mile to ensure that the mentee succeeds. I don't know if that is already being done. So those are the questions I have.
Okay. So I'm not sure if Steve, are you in any of our programs?
I already completed.
Okay. And so I think you should know the answer to this. Everybody knows where to make the appointment and for that one-on-one assistance and mentorship. And two, if you're in the internship, when we put out the group list, it comes with every group has their own mentors. So you're going to have your grandpa mentors and then your, sibling mentors, right? So Bettina, likes of Bettina who've been working for a year, less than a year, they are your siblings, right? And then your grandpa mentors are the Michaels and your folks who've been working for 4 or 5 years, 2.5 years, and thereabout. You can also reach out to them for one-on-one, right? So that is always there. For job placement, we do one-on-one job placement as well. It is on you to make that appointment, and there's always going to be somebody there to help you through every single interview till you land your first cybersecurity job, right? So that was why I couldn't really, maybe probably that wasn't very clear to you throughout the whole entire process, but you still have access to that, right? Now, for if on the job, mostly what we do is on the job, if you just got on the job, maybe you're a vulnerability management analyst, nobody who has gone through the program will be struggling. That is one. Now, if you just need, like-minded, somebody who is doing a similar thing to you to bounce off maybe some office politics and how to go about stuff, we always have a whole catalog of, cybersecurity soldiers who are doing literally almost the same thing, right? So we pair. We have people in the internship now. I think one lady, she's working as an ESO. We just pair her with another ESO who's been doing it for 4 years, right? So that makes it very easy transition. Everything that you are seeing now, they've seen it, for the past whatever years, right? So we have all those programs in place. You are going to have access to all that in any of the programs.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, please go ahead. I'm not seeing your name clearly. Onye, I can see Onye. Yes, please go ahead. Kindly go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, did you call me? This is Abele.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Abele. Okay.
Yes.
Abele,
Yes.
please go ahead.
Evening. Yeah, good evening. So I have, I spoke to you the other day, Dr. Adu. I wanted to find out, Dr. Adu, I'm sorry. I wanted to find out really, after listening to everyone today, I'm thinking, I had mentioned that taken a GRC class, and I was really looking forward to just joining your internship, maybe next month.
Okay.
But after listening to everyone today, I'm beginning to think that I should actually do the entry-level classes since it includes the internship. So I wanted to get your, quick take on that, because I have some background, but just listening to especially what Bettina said, and I think everybody else, Frank and Michael, it might be better for me to just do the entry level, and I'm open to it. So I wanted to get your thought on that. But I have taken the GRC class and have some insights into it. But again, that's why I called you. I wanted to do the internship because I know that I need that hands-on. So is it necessary for me to go back and do this entry level, or should I proceed with what I'm planning to do for next month?
Okay.
Which is
So I have a very good way of answering this. So it's like you just bought a piece of land with a building. They have some structures on it, but they kind of started and left it, right? In your opinion, will you, and this is supposed to be a 4-story, right? You don't really know much about the foundation, and it's kind of, it looks a little bit old and rusty, but they are assuring you that they really, built it well. So are you going to continue and build your first, second floor, third floor, up to your fifth floor on a foundation that you're not really sure of? Or
no,
you're going to
no.
spend the money, clear everything, and build from scratch and know for a fact that, yes, the foundation was built well. So everything on there, you're not going to. So either way, if you try to go with what they have because you want to save money, you end up losing the whole entire building and everything that you added in terms of money in building your first, second, third, up to fifth floor, everything is going to come, crumbling down.
Mm-hmm. That's
Now you
what
have
I'm
to
thinking.
spend money, taking everything out of the site and starting everything from scratch. Probably government is also going to fine you and sue you if nobody get hurt. That is. So
Yeah.
if everybody on here will obviously be okay. So the best way is just to make sure, yes, clear everything, start from scratch. Right.
Yes.
Now, when you clear everything and you're starting from scratch, it might sound like you are wasting time or you are spending too much money. But in the end, you are not going to do twice the work or 3 times the work. And reason being that most of these GRC training that you go through, most of it is this is how it goes. Oh, this is ISO, this is PCI, this is Eretmis Cybersecurity Framework, this is RMF. They touch on. So somebody will come to you and be like, yeah, I've done PCI, I've done ISO, I've done. And how many months did you spend doing this? 2 months. Like our PCI course is 4 months. Just PCI.
Wow.
Right. And you want to tell me you know all about PCI because somebody, spent 2 hours talking to you about PCI? So you can go be a PCI professional somewhere? Really? Okay. Good luck. Right. So these GRC courses out there is mostly, they don't even dive deep into GRC. It's just introducing you to different frameworks. Right. Now, what is in those frameworks? Every single framework that you are looking at covers networking, identity and access management, governance, right? Cryptography. But there you are, you don't understand what really goes into cryptography or networking or identity and access management. And you are going through all the different sessions in these frameworks, and you think just reading through them, it means you can implement it or you can use it to do an assessment. Right. So everything that they are doing is, for lack of better words, it's kind of backwards. So without any foundation in anything, or having a strong foundation in all areas of IT that comes together to perform cybersecurity, I can show you how the steps and everything and how to do PCI. But really, when it comes to doing the job and implementing it, you are going to be stuck. Right. Just like the example that Bettina was giving. Somebody can show you the steps in doing RMF. Yes, this is your questionnaire, you send it out, they fill it out, they bring it back, but you forget or they don't tell you that when they are bringing it back, it's going to come with a SOC 2 report, it's going to come with a PCI report, it's going to come with a pen test report. And there you are looking at these reports like you are reading Chinese if you don't understand Chinese.
Greek.
Right. And your company is depending on you to say whatever you've reviewed shows that the company is good in terms of security, so we can go ahead and work with them. Now, there you are, you don't know half of the things you are looking at, but you are just giving the go ahead because you don't want to look down. And if anything happens and that company was not, in a good security posture and they get breached and your company get breached in relation to that, who was the third-party professional who looked at this, or the GRC specialist who looked at this? Right? Because there's always going to be an investigation. So, and then aside even that, sitting in meetings and talking about, you can work from home, you can have somebody, you call somebody, need help. But what if you're on a call with your CISO and everybody else, and there's this cybersecurity discussion and you just throw something in there and they ask of your opinion? There you are giggling and smiling like, when they are still looking at you for an answer and you want to smile it out. And they are easily going to know you probably don't. For the first time, they might probably think, okay, what is wrong with John, right? Second time, they will know you don't really know what the heck you are talking about and what you are doing even there in the first place. So I will build a strong foundation that I stress on, and that is what everybody on here can boldly say. And they go to work looking for problems to solve because they are very sure of themselves, and there's nothing that is going to be thrown at them that is going to throw them off. Right? Because they have a very strong foundation. That is what most people are lacking now in the security space. Right? Everybody in Eretmis, if you've gone through, you've landed your job or you are still looking for a job, one thing we can assure you is when you get a job, you are not going to be struggling. Right? And you are not going to come crying for help because you can't do your job. Nobody has gone through this program and they come back crying because they can't do the job. You are literally going to go there. You are going to be the resource person teaching other people what to do. Right? That is the fun part. Right? So yes, I'll encourage you to go through the entry level. That way, anything that you don't know, any gaps that you know that you have, you'll be able to close those gaps as you move along. Right. So if the whole entire entry level, the knowledge piece is 100%, and you are going through and after you finish, okay, I knew 30% of this already. The 70% is what is going to make or break you on the job, right? So that is going to be my take. Daniel, please go ahead.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead. You're welcome.
When is the next? Before you go, when's the next class? That particular.
So for the entry level, the first portion, the first 2 months is self-paced, so you can start at any time. Is the internship? We start internship every month, right? So when you start and you're able to finish the first portion on time, there will be an internship already waiting for you every single time.
Okay. Yes. All right. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. Daniel, great, and Daniel, Arthur. I don't know which one to go first.
Okay, I'll go first, Daniel, great. Okay, thank you so much for the explanation thus far. My question, or just briefly, I've got some level of experience in all of that. I've spoken to you before. But I just need a little bit of light on entering and the GRC side of things. It might not be appropriate if I say you should, in terms of the entering, I think I know that bit to some extent, but I don't know the contents.
In terms of what? The entry level course?
Yes. Yeah. So I don't. Yeah. Sorry. Go on. Yeah.
The entry level course, that is just the name of the course, right? The entry level course, most people get it wrong. They think entry level, they look at it entry level. So they kind of look at it as that is like some introductory course or for some foundational course. No, the entry level course, by the time you are done, you are an intermediate level cybersecurity professional, right? Now, the first portion of the course covers all areas of IT that comes together to form cybersecurity. So identity and access management, cryptography, networking, cybersecurity architecture and design, we take you through everything. So you have a solid foundation and understanding of all the pieces of security and how they move together. Now, during the internship portion is where you kind of look into some specializations, right? So within GRC is very broad, but there are different items in GRC. And in terms of projects, we work on almost all projects within the GRC space. So you are going to do third party, you are going to do a risk assessment, you are going to do an audit, you are going to do governance, incident response, and the list goes on, right? So your knowledge piece, mostly what I tell people is you don't know what you don't know. So I wouldn't say I think I know, like mostly that is where you're going to get it wrong. I think I know enough. So I'm just going to jump into this. Now, if you know you are so sure of yourself, then we also say yes, jump into the internship. Now, as you are going through any gaps you identify as you're going through the internship, you fix those gaps on your own and you move on, right? But if, like the example that I gave, you still want to, okay, I'm going to eat the humble pie, go all the way to the beginning, wouldn't skip anything, just go through and see, what I didn't know. It'll really amaze you how much maybe you didn't know than you thought you know. So, I mean, you always are in that space, but there are people who went through the entry level, the internship, and once they're done, they are like, yeah, I think I will go back to the entry level course. Right. Because with the internship, it's a super highway. Once you are going to hit the ground running, it's project, project, project. That is not where we are really going to break things down and explain what like cryptography is about and explain what cybersecurity architecture is about and break. No, we don't do that. We do that in the knowledge piece of the entry level course. Right. Now the internship is part of the entry level course as a package. And then also for the entry level course, you're also going to be working with tools. We have a whole stack of cybersecurity tools that you're going to work with. So on the job, you are not going to install and configure any tool. In the entry level, we walk you through to build your own cybersecurity lab. So you're going to install all these tools, configure them, and use them. So if you go to an interview and somebody asks you, do you know how to use maybe like Splunk? It sounds like an insult to you. Do I know how to use? Are these people kidding me? It took me 3 days to figure out how to set up Splunk, and you're asking me if I know how to use it. You see what I mean? So
Yeah.
we are putting more like hurdles in front of you. So anywhere you find yourself, if it is not Splunk and it's QRadar, you are confident. I mean, I was able to figure out Splunk from scratch. QRadar, I mean, they have the same interface. I'll be able to move around in it, right? So we build your confidence as well, and we expose you to a lot. Even for the entry level, our focus, everything that we do in the entry level, the focus is on the blue side of cybersecurity, on the defensive side. But still, we push you to the tip of, doing some little command line, writing little codes here and there. But all those is just fun parts. It doesn't have to be. But just to let you know that it's not really what people make it look like, right? It's not something that is way over your head. So if you find yourself anywhere and you are in the middle of software developing team, you know what they are doing.
Yeah.
Though they cannot BS you. And if you're in the middle of it and you're the cybersecurity professional, shouting security within the software development lifecycle, you know exactly everything that is going on. The conversation, you sit in and you understand what is going on, right? Rather than just being one-sided and half knowing something and sitting in there not being sure. And all you're going to do is just giggle and smile and look at people's faces. And, gradually they're going to catch up and see that you probably didn't maybe get half of the things they were talking about. Right. So that would be my advice.
Okay. Thank you. I sent a message to you and I hope you get back to me soon. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Somebody will get back to you. Yes.
All right.
Daniel, Daniel, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Edu. I mean, what you were saying resonates with me very well. The entry level course really helped me a lot in my career, for instance. Through the entry level course, I was able to get my security class. I got my certified in cybersecurity, and it's been making me learn a lot. I'm happy that I joined them with me. So thank you very much, Dr. Edu. I just wanted to find out something about we were bringing a new course out called the cybersecurity, cloud security.
Yes.
And I was interested in that, and I wanted to find out, I mean, what actually are we going to be able to use cloud security tools? Like, for instance, I'm trying to focus on IAM, and I want to know how we're going to use, we are going to do this. Is it going to be like the way we did the entry level course and we had internship? And
Yes.
also, are we going to be able to do it in such a way that we can be able to take the AWS certifications or the cloud security, the Google Cloud certifications as well,
Yes.
alongside?
So, yes, the cloud security is going to be vendor neutral. So everything that is being delivered cuts across AWS, Azure, Google Cloud. Right now, for us, we don't believe in just theory, learning, and then what? Because on the job you are not going to learn, you are going to do. Right. So every training that we have, there is I'm doing part of it. You are going to do. So anywhere you find yourself, you're not really going to be crying for mommy or daddy. You are going to be able to function. You are going to be the mommy or daddy there. Right. So yes, it is structured similar to the entry level. So you are going to, we take you through from scratch, build you all the way up to become a full-blown cloud security professional, and with some hands-on real-world training and experience. Right.
Okay. Okay. So just a quick one. We have just like the entry level. We already had the portal already, everything set up, or we are going to be going through a live class or
No,
something of
okay.
that.
So this will be a live session. We do live session twice a week. Right. So the whole entire program is a live session.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
All right, everyone. I think there's okay. So Daniel's hand is up. Olan, please go ahead. Or maybe Larry. Larry, please go ahead. You are muted if you're trying to speak.
Okay. Hi. Yeah. Well, thanks for everything. You hit the nail on the head. I think Bailey said something, and the other gentleman said something, and I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, I have experience and all that. So I think I'll follow your building structure, like you said, buying a land with a structure on it. So when is your next class, from scratch? When is it starting?
Okay, so the entry level you can start at any time, and this is it. The first portion is self-paced with one-on-one coaching and assistance, right? And the second portion is the internship. So you can, because of that, you can enroll at any time. We encourage you study at least 2 to 3 hours a day, and then during the week, there's no limit to how many one-on-one that you can set up. And then you have the likes of Michael and everybody as mentors who can also help and guide you through. So the first portion, self-paced with one-on-one assistance. And then once you finish, we move you into the internship where we do the live sessions on Saturday mornings, 10 a.m. Eastern to all the way up to, I think, 1 in between that space. Mostly we have like 2 cohorts going head to head. So, but it's almost an hour and a half per cohort. On Saturdays, we discuss the projects, and then you and the team will go work on the projects with the help of your mentors and then also your POC from the companies that you're going to be doing the projects for. Right.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll get to you then. We go from there. Thanks.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, everybody. I appreciate everybody's time. So we are 10 minutes over. We are wrapping up. And for our AI governance course, for folks who are interested in getting ahead in the AI space, the AI governance course is starting on the 20th, cloud security on the 16th, and then our PCI, our entry-level course, you can start at any time. And then our PCI starts is the 7th of February now, not 28th anymore. GRC internship starts on the 25th. And the WhatsApp group, the link has been posted several times. So kindly go ahead and then also the YouTube channel. Everything that we are doing is being transmitted live on YouTube. So you can also subscribe to it. That way you don't miss any of our cyber chat sessions. And for tonight, we've done all our questions already. So we are about to wrap up. Now, we appreciate everybody's time. This is Eretmis Cyber Chat. We do this every Friday night. And I hope you got something for your toolbox tonight as well. Next week, we are also going to come up with a very exciting topic for us to discuss. We will try and do at least 2 or 3 panels a month. That way, you'll be able to pick their brains on different topics. And we are going to cycle through. Mostly, we have almost like, for each discussion, we have almost like 10 panelists, where we will cut it down to 4 or 3. That way, we'll have enough time. And, there's so many of them that we will keep cycling through, not the same faces that you're going to see. But we appreciate Frank, Bettina, Michael, number one, Michael Senior, Michael Mills, and then Michael Yeboah. It's always a pleasure having Michael as a co-pilot, and then Michael Yeboah, always a pleasure. Frank and Bettina, we appreciate your time. We are wrapping up for tonight. I appreciate everybody's time. We will be meeting next week, same time. Have a great and wonderful weekend, and Happy New Year to everybody.
You too. Thank you.
Take care.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.